Heyo! Thanks for coming back for volume 2, guys. Yeah, this has been a really exciting kind of process to see how you guys are responding to the videos, and I'm super thankful that you've just been, so supportive from jump. Like, it really is like incredible to see, and it's very affirming, so thank you. But yeah, I wanted to use this particular clip to talk about like the music genres that I was leaning towards, and then what ends up actually happening with the instrumentation and the music itself, and just the writing process for me. So I was definitely targeting grunge with this particular project, and I don't think that I actually fully ever hit it, but there are definitely some songs that are a lot more, I would say like definitely like indie rock, much more like pop punk at times, or like post-hardcore, those sorts of things, because each song was actually inspired by either one particular band or artist, or like just a feeling that I was trying to capture. And there's a lot of, I guess, kind of like reference tracks. And so because I'm so interested in like the sonic experience of an album really being like, very seamless, having not a lot of like filler, in terms of just like I don't know, like weird transitions or anything like that, like that really kind of was like something that I wanted to sew up. And so a lot of these songs also are inspired by like particular artists, or like particular like songs from particular bands or artists. And even just like the way that, like, I guess I'm doing this kind of rollout where it's like the muses that have inspired me are all very vast, they're very different, in terms of their sound and their techniques and things. So, and just like that idea of pulling like muses for, these specific tracks, that idea actually came to me from Halsey, so shout out to her. But it was easy to like give these reference tracks to the artists that I've been working with, because they are all like trained musicians and have been working, with their instruments for like a long ass time. And I'm definitely like the baby in terms of, having limited knowledge and just like a limited real understanding of like communicating like exactly what I want. So it was really easy to just give like a reference song and be like, okay, like not necessarily this particular key, but like the way the song builds, or the way the song is, having all these transitory parts, or, the way that like the bridge kind of hits this melodic point and then the rest of the song is like super like energetic and really loud, and, things like that. So that just was like an easier way to kind of have the conversation and collaboration with these particular musicians. So some of the muses actually, like for song 5, it definitely was like Dance Gavin Dance, Burning Down the Nicotine Armoire. So if you're familiar with that song, super loud. There's like a lot of different parts. Like they have like 2 or 3 different bridges. The melodies shift like constantly, but it's just textbook Dance Gavin Dance, and they do it really brilliantly. But then a song like the first song actually was inspired by Flyleaf, and just like being like this super kind of like solemn, but also just really like loud, and just kind of like melodic, because I'm thinking specifically the song would have been All Around Me. And so just like how it all just like hinges on Lacey's like vocals. So for me, like all of my songs are just incredibly like vocal led. I always start like, humming a tune, thinking about like just like a random idea or like inspiration just popping into my head, and so I'll like record that. And so that ultimately becomes like the key that we're using for, the songs. And that was really important to me, because I just feel like it's easier to build a melody off of the person who is singing the melody. I don't know. Definitely haven't had like a lot of experience with that, so that's been really cool and very different from music that I've written in the past. Usually the music was all like, predetermined by the other instrumentalists or artists that I've worked with. And it has just been like a really, I guess, like fun challenge creatively for me to, shift out of that. So Alexis on Fire, Dance Gavin Dance, Flyleaf, The Used, and I want to say Alanis Morissette as well, were the top you know, sort of reference points that I had for all of the songs that are on the EP. And in theory, that probably sounds so chaotic to y'all, but in reality, it came together really well because, you know, again, just like the moodiness of what I was like ultimately going for, and in the narrative structure that I laid out, like it really does like blend together extremely well, thankfully. So it's just been really cool to also see like that evolution of, you know, taking these reference points and seeing like how we can build something that's completely unique, you know, more modern and just like very different. And yeah, so I would say like of the artists that I'm working with, it's a classically trained jazz drummer, and then like a self-taught like savant. Like my bassist, honestly, he plays multiple instruments and he's just like fucking incredible. Can literally like hear a key and just like translate it to like the instrument like immediately. So like his ear is pretty spot on, and it's just been like really invaluable like seeing in real time like how he works and just being able to like collaborate and bounce ideas back and forth. And then my guitarist actually is, I'm unsure if like classically trained, but definitely like has a lot more training. But he definitely comes from kind of like the more 70s like dad rock, you know, just like Steely Dan, or I don't even know, like I would say actually like a lot of like bluesy folk kind of guitarists he like really is inspired by. So it's been really cool to kind of bring him along for this like punk, grunge, indie rock experience, because he's an extremely, you know, talented like guitarist, but it's just like these are not the type of songs that he would normally be playing. But it's, again, it's fun creatively to challenge someone. And the thing that's been like really rewarding too is like having these people who again are much more like developed in their craft than I have been, and they're all just like, yeah, like this shit's actually like really fun to play because it is different and it isn't just like, you know, cookie cutter like pop punk or just like cookie cutter indie rock. Like it is like so many different inspirations, ranging from like bossa nova to like the Mediterranean sound, even, you know, Middle Eastern music. Like it's just, there's so many different things happening in any given track that I really feel like extremely proud to have brought this together. So like I said, I targeted grunge for this particular project, and I never really fully got there because of all the inspirations for all of the tracks, but also like the musicians that I'm working with, like all of their influences and their playing styles, you know, just having like backgrounds in everything from like classical to jazz to folk to, you know, more like psychedelic math rock, like all of these things definitely helped reshape the project from what I initially kind of conceived. So, or like conceptualized rather. So it's definitely been like really interesting in the collaborative process to just see like how someone else's, you know, lived experience or someone else's like ideas also like coming together, and it's not clashing. It literally is just this really beautiful symbiotic relationship where it's just, you know, building into something else. So it's been really cool to see that, and, you know, have people who definitely come from different walks of musical life than I do and having their input. So I've been working with 3 artists already, and they've all been extremely wonderful, but just for the sound and, you know, the ease of playing like different types of melodies overlapping, it would really be so wonderful to add like a second guitarist. And even though like I'm about to be on my own Guitar Hero journey and learning guitar, I'm definitely not going to be like competent soon enough to be able to like add anything, you know, like really literally instrumental anytime soon. So being able to add like a second guitarist would really like help my project along. And so this is a little mini call to action. If you guys know any guitarists who are looking to do like a little bit of session work or like have like a second project that's getting off the ground, you know, have them contact me. Like please hit me up. I definitely like would love for it to be like a person of color, definitely like a queer person, but I'm open to anyone as long as they actually like can play in the genre and like are not a jerk. So yeah, if you know anyone, send them my way.